since he's the speaker today. If was when we switched from the choir to him speaking, if he wanted me to give some sort of introduction or something, he said, well, you probably should give him a little warning. That when he's out here, people have been known to levitate and so get your seatbelts and strap them on, because here he is, Richard Inman.
Do we have any levitators here today? I'm curious. You should see Brian and Kathy dance. They do levitate slightly, especially during the cha-cha part. Oh, wow. Having a great time this morning. Thank you all for coming out. Yesterday I went to do the restorative yoga class with Neil. Neil's here right now. But anyway, cool guy from India. And let me tell you, this guy really knows this stuff. And restorative yoga is different than regular yoga. And that's perfect for me. And I had a wonderful time. And he... by the way, he's got another thing this Tuesday at 2. I highly recommend it. I mean, this guy is fantastic, and his teachings are unique, and the truth in what he teaches you is so evident when you're there. It's like, oh, I had to be reminded. One of the things he taught yesterday, I just want to teach you it because it was so profound for me, and I want to give this gift that Neil gave me yesterday. And it's just a simple yogic breathing thing, which is from the stomach. Just let's try that. And that oxygenates your blood and hopefully clears your mind. And one of the things he said that I was very surprised at, he goes, initially you may only be able to do 15, 20 times without getting lightheaded. He says, I do it to 1,000 times a day. I was like, 1,000? Are you an overachiever? That's a lot of breathing. Anyway, that was fantastic. So the topic of my talk is living in grace. And a lot of times I'll come up with a topic and I don't have any talk. You ever do that? Shows like, oh, now I got to learn about this. And I was looking up grace on the Google, and there are, probably 25 different versions of what grace really is if you start doing that. And I found one that suited me, and I'm going to share that with you. It's called, What is the Real Meaning of Grace? The Spontaneous, Unmerited Gift of the Divine. That's a potent definition. And it's also, the word grace means favor. Why are you favored as a child of God? Simply because you are the activity of God expressing as you. Recently, I don't know, maybe the last year or two, I've started to become very grateful for being a human on this planet. There was a time, it says it right here in the song, where is it? Oh, here. I sang it this morning. There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I wasn't doing a lot of praying. I wasn't, I think what disappointed me initially was I would pray for stuff I wanted, and then God didn't deliver it like a pizza man. How we communicate with God. Let's see. I thought I had, no. Spirit sometimes doesn't talk to me right before I'm supposed to do my talk. I'm like, really? You're going to wait that? You're going to wait right till the end, huh? So I want to talk a little bit about prayer just for a moment, because this is one of the ways we communicate. This is the prayer. Is this the prayer Sunday? Or is Next Sunday, the prayer. Anyway, doesn't matter. Marianne Williamson wrote this, and I want to share this with you because this is there's a slight, and in fact, I think you have a thing on prayer next after the service. So yeah, I highly recommend that. Brian used to pray 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week for 10 years. So he's got a little prayer under his belt. So, you want to know what prayer's like? This guy. When I first came to this church, I was a music director in San Luis Obispo, and we ran through 3 or 4 major ministers and then probably 6 minor ministers. So I'd seen a lot of ministers and varieties of spiritual growth amongst the ministers, and having a man that dedicates himself to having a spiritual community is doesn't always happen. I'm very grateful to have Brian here. Thank you, buddy. Okay, our prayer is not simply, dear God, please send me a better job. Dear God, enable me to see this situation differently. There you go. That's it. If you can do that one, that's me. Enable me to see the situation differently, that this area of apparent lack might be healed inside my mind. That grace meaning the spontaneous, unmerited gift of the divine. We don't have to earn that. I was taught if you're a good little boy and you do what God says, you get to go to heaven. And they've got Cinemax and HBO on all the time. I don't think they have Cinemax anymore. That's how old I am. Anyway, and then Marianne goes on to say, when we pray for God to illumine our path, we are saying, dear God, please show me the way. What thoughts do I need to think to be able to navigate my life at this point? What perceptions do I need? What insights will guide me? Who do I need to forgive? What parts of my personality do I need to look at? What changes do I need to make? Please come upon me and heal my life. I love that one. So, I was having a conversation the other night. We were talking about forgiveness and grace, and I happened upon a quote by Eric Butterworth, who was famous. Some of you studied Eric's writings, and famous unity minister in the last century. And he said this about grace, which this is something I knew, but having it said so eloquently is so helpful. And it's, you don't have to earn grace. It is not something that comes only to the good. It comes to all alike, because all alike are expressions of God. By the grace of God, a criminal is still loved by God and can still find forgiveness and ultimate rehabilitation through a love that transcends law. And that's a hard one for some of us who maybe have had a crime committed against us. Sometimes we want to retaliate. We want them to be punished. And Brian said something the other night to me. We were having this conversation. He said, the only justice is mercy. And some of you have worked in prisons and mental hospitals and with different kinds of people than we let run around like us. Sometimes they lock people up when they behave badly. And I was a music teacher / artist in residence up at Atascadero State Hospital for many years. And I was also the choir director at Unity in San Luis Obispo, and every year at Christmas time, I would gather up my choir, get permission for everybody there. I don't know, I think Peg was there. Peg was there with me. I think Bill was there. Bill, you didn't go? You didn't want to go in there, Bill? It's too scary? Too scary? I don't blame you. And we would go up there and we'd sing a concert, and then I had a jazz band, and we would perform for, and to give you an idea of what those performances were like is they have a theater, a 1,000-seat theater, because there are more than 1,000 patients there, and then you have another 300 mental health workers. And we had this big party every Christmas, and it was packed, and it was insane. I mean, you know, Atascadero State Hospital is a hospital for the criminally insane. It's like double. That's a double whammy. Not only are you a criminal, but you're also crazy. So we're going to keep you here. And I had a patient in my band. I'm going to change his name. His name was Billy. And he was a famous keyboard player for Tower of Power. And when he first started working in my band, he was actively hallucinating, and which was actually pretty fun. We would have these fantastic rehearsals. Of course, Billy would stop and talk to unknown stimuli for a while. And I thought it was pretty funny. And I would go up and talk to the unseen stimuli too. And he would be like, "You see that guy?" And I go, "Oh, yeah, yeah." I didn't invite him to rehearsal. So Billy was pretty sick. And flash forward 3 years later, and getting better, pretty sane, no hallucinations, makes sense again. And his staff would send down these notes to me. "Oh, the music that Billy's doing is healing him," and I believe that's true. I think music for those of us who are music types, it can be a very healing experience. It certainly has been for me. And so now I want to here's the story. It's a story about grace. So this particular Christmas, I've got my beautiful choir, bunch of lovely women. And so, you know, you take a bunch of lovely women into a hospital for the criminally insane. What could possibly go wrong? Right? So I gave them a talk. I said, "Listen, guys, stay in line. Don't talk to the patients. You don't know these guys. I kind of know them. And you're lovely, beautiful women, and that could be a trigger for them. And I don't want to have to do anything that might hurt me. So please stay in line, and let's just go to the theater, sing our show, sit down, be calm, and everything will be fine. Just don't do anything weird," which for sopranos is like impossible, by the way. Pretty much impossible. And so anyway, we go in, and it just so happened that Billy, this was the last show he was going to do with our band, and he was going to get released to a less secure hospital and then eventually get out. That doesn't happen necessarily a lot for the patients there. And so it was a big celebration. We were all excited for Billy. So we get up, the choir does their thing, everyone's just crazy. I mean, it's if you can imagine, people, I don't know whether it was the music or the beautiful women that was getting the applause. It didn't matter to me. I just was there to do my show and go home. Then our band gets up to play. And so we're doing our show, and I was playing saxophone at that time in that band, and I'm playing fantastic. I'm thinking, I am amazing. I always say that. When I play music, I think, "Wow, you're incredible, Rich. Something you should try next time you play music. Compliment yourself. If no one else is saying it, you do it, you know." Tink and I know that. When we sing, we go, "Man, I'm amazing. I'm incredible. Did you hear that high note?" The dogs heard that down the street. And we're playing we're getting ready to kind of wrap it up. And I look over to the left out of the corner of my eye, and I noticed during this very danceable song, some of our sopranos have gone and grabbed patients and started dancing with them. Now, there was a moment of terror there for me. Not only was I going to lose my wonderful arts council job that paid very well, and I had a fantastic band, but then I might lose my Unity job if something goes horribly wrong. So I'm thinking, the thing in the back of my mind is, Richard, you need to tell these people to sit down. So then I thought, no, they're having fun. I don't think anybody's going to do anything crazy. And so we do one more tune. Now all the girls have decided that's the thing to do. They all grab some people. There's this huge dance party going on. Now I am very nervous because I know some of these patients. And so we finish the song and we sit down and I'm thinking, well, not so bad. Nobody got killed. That's always good. And so we finished our last song, and I announced, I said, Billy's going to be leaving us, and we're going to miss him, but we wish him well. He comes up, and he's going to give a little speech. And at the Tascadero, all the patients were wearing khakis, because so sometimes the staff and we don't know the difference. So we like to keep the patients in khakis so we know who we need to leave there. And so Billy comes out and he starts talking and he says, thank you. I've loved being in the band. It's been great for me. And then all of a sudden Billy starts disrobing. And now I'm thinking, well, I guess he's going to stay a little longer. That's what I'm thinking. And so he gets his shirt off and he's got a Hawaiian shirt on. And then he starts pulling his pants off. I'm like, okay, well, he will be staying longer. And he pulls off his pants. He's got Bermuda shorts on. And that was his come out of cocoon moment. And all 1,000 patients and staff all get up and give it a big applause. And that's the end of the show. And the thing about that is by the grace, and this goes back to Eric Butterworth again, by the grace of God, a criminal is still loved by God and can still find forgiveness and ultimate rehabilitation through a love that transcends law. I haven't heard from Billy in 30 years, but I hope he's doing well. Grace is simply a wonderful facet of the activity of God in you. While I was doing the research on this talk, I ran across the quote. I know it's around here somewhere. Oh, it's a Marianne Williamson quote, and it's, every bird that sings, sings for you. Every breeze that blows, blows for you. And I thought, oh, wow, that is a song if I've ever heard one. And I had been kind of working on some new choir songs because a couple of choir members go, we need some new songs. We're not going to do those same songs anymore. I go, oh, okay, all right. So anyway, I don't know whether we'll use this one in the choir or not, but what's that? Is this mic on? All right. Well, if you want to turn on, that's good. It'll all work out. So I want you to, quite often we listen to songs and look at the singer. I want you to close your eyes just for a moment and take this song in. Let it be an affirmative song for you. Every bird that sings, sings for you. Every breeze that blows, blows for you. Every ray of sunshine shines for you. You are loved. You are loved. You are loved. Every song that sings is sung for you. Every smile that smiles is smiled for you. Every dream that dreams is dreamt for you. We are loved. We are loved. We are loved. on every face. We see the grace, we feel the grace in every place. Every bird that sings, sings for you. Every breeze that blows, blows for you. Every ray of sunshine shines for you. You are love. You are love. You are love. And so it is.